On the weekend, many of us have more time to practice yoga, and it's time that we can play around in our yoga practice. Because of that extra time, it's a time to have a vigorous practice for many of us, and also to explore poses that maybe in classes or in your weekday practice you really don't have enough time to dissect and create just a little bit more playfulness in your practice. In yoga, this idea of play is called lila, so let's have some playtime now. Begin standing at the front of your mat. Stand tall. Take your arms up and spread your wings. Take your hands wide apart. Exhale. Take your hands alongside your ankles and step your right leg back. Balance yourself by taking your hands right above your knee. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Keep your back heel lifted so that you can let the front thigh just settle deeper into your pose. Release your hands down. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to your low back. Rise up. Reach up again. Wide spread of your wings before taking your hands down to the mat to step your left leg back. Balance yourself. Take your hands right above your knee, keeping the back leg strong. Settle deeper in the front thigh. Reach up, reach back, gaze back. Release your hands down. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to your low back. Rise up. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, take your hands to the earth. Step back to all fours position or plank. In whatever position you chose, draw your shoulders forward, lower yourself down to the mat. Reach your right arm forward, bend your left knee, reach for your left foot or your shin, roll to your right side. Just enjoy a nice stretch all the way from the left hip to the left knee. Just extend the left knee as far as possible. Now keeping that length, roll back over to your belly. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, soften. Two more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Release your left foot. Place your hands alongside your ribs. Press your toenails down as you rise up. Exhale, release. Come through all fours position to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, be playful. Enjoy a nice fullness of your pose through the fullness of your breath. Lift your heels a little bit higher. In this rather tiptoe-like position, swing your heels toward the right and swing your pelvis to the right to stretch through the left side ribs. Come back through the center position. Swing your heels to the left to stretch through the right side. Come back to the center position. Walk your feet up to your hands. Place your hands to your low back. Rise up. Reach up to the sky, way back. Exhale, take your hands to the earth. Step yourself back to a plank position or all fours again. Move your shoulders forward. Lower yourself slowly to the mat. Reach your left arm forward. Bend your right knee so that you can reach back and take hold of the right foot. Roll over. Enjoy a nice stretch here in the pose. Reach from the pelvis to the right knee. Come back to your belly. Reach from the pelvis to your knee as you reach your right foot back to open front body, and exhale, lower, 2 more. Rise up, release down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, draw down. Free your right foot and take your hands right alongside your ribs in fingertip top position. Lift up just slightly. Exhale, lower yourself to the mat. Come through all fours position to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, lift your heels high. Just pivot toward the right side again. Back to center. Pivot to the left. Back to center. Let's add on now. Reach your right leg straight back. Bend your right knee. Get a nice stretch again from the inner groin to the right knee. Release your right foot down. Take your left leg in the air. Spread your toes. Look back. Now lift your left hip higher. Bend your left knee. Keep your right armpit lifting as you open up nicely. Release your left foot back to the mat. Walk your hands back to your feet. Now you're at the back of your mat. Bend your knees a lot. Place your hands right above your knees. Straighten your arms. On the in-breath, let your heart reach forward. Exhale, just move the spine. Just follow your breath. With an in-breath, you'll draw your heart forward. With an exhale breath, you'll draw from the pubic bone to the navel back toward the spine. Just have this fullness of the movement. Be playful in your attitude. Now take your hands back to the mat. Walk your hands toward the front of the mat. On the in-breath, look forward. See if you can walk, step. Maybe you can even hop right between your hands. Place your hands to the low back and rise up. Stand in Utkatasana. Enjoy your breath. Find fullness in your breath. On your in-breath, reach up. On your exhale breath, twist to your right. In-breath, take your hands up. Exhale breath, twist to your left. In-breath, up. Exhale, twist to your right. In-breath, up. Exhale to your left. One more cycle. Try to keep your hip points facing forward even as you twist to the right. Rise up, twist to the left, reach up, back to center, and release your hands down. With your right foot forward, take your left foot back. Press down through the back heel. Bend your right knee. Reach your arms up. Draw your left hip forward. And if you need to lift your left heel to find more fullness in the pose, by all means. Place your hands right in front of your heart. Tap your left elbow to the outer right knee or thigh. And lift up. Keep your balance as you do the same action. Turn toward your right knee and rise up. And one more time, reach your left elbow toward your outer right knee and rise up. Release your hands to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Lift your heels high like we've been doing. pivot over to the right side and breathe fully to the left side ribs. Lift your heels high again to pivot to the left side and find fullness in your right side ribs. Come through to a plank position, and as you do, step your right foot halfway to your right hand. Come to the outside of your left foot. Take your right hand to your waist. Reach your right arm up. Keep your pelvis lifting. Release your arm over your head to keep working on the length of the side body. Release your hand down. Come back to downward facing dog. Same action we've been doing to stretch the side body. Lift your heels high. Pivot to the right. Back to center. Pivot to the left. Breathe fully to expand the side body. Come back to the center. Step your left foot halfway to your left hand. Pivot your right foot so that you're on the outer edge, the baby toe side of the right foot. Reach your left arm up. Reach over. And again, get a nice stretch to the side body. Release your hand down. Come back to downward facing dog. And take your knees to the mat. Take your knees wide apart. Draw your pelvis back toward your heels. And with your hands nice and wide apart, release your head. You can park your forehead to the mat, or if you've got a block, just allow nice ease in your breath. Allow the breath to help expand the back body. Breathe in deep and out long. On your next in-breath, rise up, come through downward facing dog to make your way to a standing position. Walk, step, or hop your way to the front of the mat and rise up. Take a nice in-breath through the nose and out-breath through the nose. Step your right foot back. Park your back heel. Bend your front knee. Draw your right hip forward. And if it gives you more freedom, more comfort in the pose, lift your back heel up. Place your hands right in front of your heart. Draw your right elbow toward your outer left knee. Rise up. See if you can create just a little bit more fun, a little bit more play as you balance yourself and yet get a nice twisting action in the pose. And release your hands down to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog with the heels lifted again. Pivot to the right, back to center, pivot to the left, back to center. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bend your knees. Place your hands right above your knees. Straighten your arms. Reach your arms up, away from the knees, and twist. Turn to the left. Come up. Turn to the right. Come back to center. Take your hands back to the mat. Walk them forward. Look forward. Walk, step, or hop your way to the front of the mat. Place your hands to the low back. Rise up. Let's balance in Ardha Chapasana. We'll go through a triangle pose to balance on our hand, one hand and one foot as we hold the lifted foot. So step wide. Turn your right toes out. Lift your arms up. Draw over to come to a triangle pose. If you'd like to use your blocks, go ahead, but I always feel like it's so much easier to keep your hand to the floor. You feel so much more stable. Your choice. Take your left hand to the waist. Look down toward the floor as you pivot the back heel so you can turn your left hip slightly. Step in before lifting up. Lift your back leg high. Now draw the knee in toward your heart so it's very accessible as you take hold of the foot. Open the chest nicely. See if you can come to find nice fullness in the pose before reaching your foot back to come to a triangle pose. So look back, place it down, reach your arm up, and inhale, come out of the pose. Let's go to the opposite side. Allow yourself plenty of runway space here as you reach your arms up. Take your hand down to come to a triangle pose. Take the lifted arm down and pivot on the back foot so you can step in. Balance yourself first before lifting the back leg up with a solid foundation through your standing leg, and your hand lift the back leg high. Bend the lifted leg so that you can draw the knee in toward your heart as you catch hold of the shin or the foot. And as you get a nice stretch to the front side of the body, just open the chest nicely. Now free the lifted foot. Take it down to the mat again. Come to nice triangle pose again before lifting yourself to come out of the pose and release your hands. It's so fun to play with these poses, and whatever piece of the pose you're working on, you can spend just a little bit more time working on that side. So keep that attitude of playfulness in the practice. If there's some aspects that you can't do in a pose, just create more freedom in your practice. Let's come to a kneeling position. In your kneeling position, step your right foot forward. When we have time to play, it's great to have a nice energetic practice. And these back bends really support us in giving so much more fullness and energy to our practice. With your back foot tucked under, reach back toward the left heel, reach your right arm forward, plug in, draw from the fingertips back first before reaching up and back, and just delight in the fullness of the pose. On the in-breath, lift yourself to come out of the pose. Come to a kneeling position with your right knee down. Step your left foot forward. Tuck your right toes under. Reach back to find your right heel with the right hand, but reach forward with the left hand. Pull in from the left fingertips back toward the heart before reaching back. And enjoy all the work we've done to expand the side body. You get more fullness in the front side of the body. Inhale, lift yourself out of the pose. Come to downward facing dog. And pedal your legs as a way to just keep a nice flow, nice ease to the movements. Walk your feet up to your hands. With your feet now wide apart, bend your knees to come to a squat position. Place your hands right in front of your heart. See if you can get a nice opening of the low back as you press your inner knees toward your upper arms. You breathe in deep and out long before releasing yourself down to the mat. We'll do an inversion, a headstand next. And if that's not working for you in your practice, take your legs up against the wall. With your legs up against the wall, you get an inversion as part of your practice. Those of you that have a headstand as a regular practice, come to the mat with your fingers interlaced and your forearms pressing down, elbows slightly narrower than the shoulders. Press your forearms down, hug your elbows in toward each other. Take your head to the mat with your toes tucked under, lift your pelvis up. Walk in, lift up, come to a headstand that works for you, or take your legs up against the wall. Breathe in and breathe out long. Breathe in and out long, and in and out long. Now slowly come out of your pose. Come to a child's pose now with your hands nice and wide apart. Release your head. And now slowly lift yourself up to come to lying down on the mat. With your knees bent, draw your right knee in, take hold of the right foot and draw the right knee just a little bit deeper so you get lots of hip flexion. Release your right foot, hug your left leg in. Grab hold of your shin or the baby toe side of your foot and draw down. Release your left foot to the mat. Press your elbows firmly down to lift your heart high. Now lift your right foot up. You might want to just take the pelvis down to make it a little bit more accessible. Lift your foot up, press your elbows, now lift your pelvis a little bit higher. Draw your pelvis toward the mat, but then lift again. Really depend on the strength of the left leg here. As you pulse down toward the mat, then lift up. Now bend your right knee. Take your pelvis down just a little bit so it's more accessible for the right leg to create a nice foundation for the pose. As you take the left leg up, press into the base of the right toe as you reach to the sky and down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Release your left foot. Pull the knees in and grab hold of your knees. Now lift your feet up so the shins are going toward a parallel position. Reach your knees away from your heart. As you pull the knees in with your hands, the legs are doing the opposite action. So you're able to create a nice lumbar curve. Keeping that curve, just move side to side. Just get a little bit more engagement of the back muscles, even as you move side to side to massage your glutes. And come back to center. Release your feet down. Release your arms. Extend your feet and close your eyes. Breathe in deep. And out long. When you have time to play, to be a bit more playful in your practice, you create more enthusiasm, more energy for your day. And it also gives you an opportunity to dissect the poses in a way that you can refine your alignment. You get to know your body that much better. As you rest and assimilate, it invigorates you. You feel rejuvenated, just allowing your arms to rest on the mat. Your resting legs allow your pelvis to feel so heavy, so relaxed. You breathe in deep and out long. You breathe in deep and out long. Breathe in deep and out long. Now breathe very freely and naturally. Enjoy this time in Shavasana. Namaste.